Alright, so let us talk about now characteristics of sovereignty. Now, according to Garner, following are the characteristics of sovereignty, and he divides sovereignty into 6 different characteristics. First, permanence. Second, exclusiveness. Third, comprehensiveness. Fourth, inalienability. Fifth, indivisibility. And sixth, absoluteness. So let us take first permanence. Well, sovereignty lasts as long as independent state exists. For instance, the death of a king or the overthrow or the change of a particular system of the government does not lead to the destruction of sovereignty. So to put in simple words, according to Justice Sutherland from US, he says, rules comes and go, government ends, and forms of government may change, but sovereignty never held in suspense. So in short, sovereignty is always permanence in all the conditions. Point number 2, exclusiveness. The sovereign power is exclusive prerogative of the state and is not shared by it with any other authority or group. In the state, there can be only one sovereign who can legally compel obedience from all persons and association within its jurisdiction. Therefore, there cannot exist another sovereign state within the existing sovereign state. Moving on to third characteristic, comprehensiveness. The state is all comprehensive and the sovereign power is universally applicable. Every individual and every association of individuals is subject to sovereignty of the state. Therefore, no association or group of individuals, however rich or powerful, cannot resist or disobey the sovereign authority. Hence, sovereignty makes no exception and grants no exception to anyone. Moving on to point number 4, inalienability. Sovereignty is inalienable. When I say inalienability, we mean that the state cannot part with its sovereignty. To put in simple words, sovereign or the sovereign state does not remain if the sovereign or the state transfer his or its sovereignty to any other person or any other state. Therefore, sovereignty is the life and soul of the state. It cannot be alienated without destroying the state itself. In simple words, sovereignty cannot be passed or cannot be part away from the state. Moving on to fifth characteristics, indivisibility. It is the essence of sovereignty. Sovereignty cannot be divided without being destroyed. The division of sovereignty leads to the disunity of the state. According to Gattel, the concept of divided sovereignty is a contradiction in terms. If the sovereignty is not absolute, no state exists. And if sovereignty is divided, more than one state exists. Therefore, sovereignty is essence. Therefore, indivisibility is the essence of sovereignty. And moving to last characteristics, absoluteness. Here, absoluteness means that there is no legal power within the state or outside the state superior to it. Therefore, the authority of the sovereign is not subject to any internal or external limitations. Hence, he is absolute and unlimited. The sovereign is entitled to do whatever he likes. So, these are the 6 major characteristics of sovereignty. Well, now moving on to the kinds or types of sovereignty. Here we have 6 different types of sovereignty, such as titular sovereignty, de facto and de jure sovereign, legal and political sovereignty, popular sovereignty, national sovereignty, and last, Austin theory of sovereignty. So now let us take first titular sovereignty. A titular sovereign is one who is sovereign only in name and not in reality. Although outwardly the power is vested in one person, but the real power is enjoyed by another. For example, the King of England is the titular head and he does not enjoy the real power. In fact, the actual powers are enjoyed by the king in parliament. What means is the parliament of England. Another example is India. In India, the president of India is a titular sovereign and the real powers lies in the hands of the cabinet. So in short, the titular sovereign is just for a namesake and in reality, powers are held and enjoyed by somebody else. Moving on to de facto and de jure sovereign. Now, the term de facto means something which does not exist in the eyes of the law, whereas a de jure sovereign is a one who is considered to be sovereign in the eyes of law, although he may not be so in actual practice. The de facto sovereign is one who possesses the actual power. For example, when Mussolini came to power in Italy in 1922, de facto power passed into his hand, although Victor Emmanuel was the de jure sovereign. Another example is, after the overthrow of the Chiang Kai-shek in 1949, the communists became the de facto sovereign of China. Moving on to next, legal and political sovereignty. Now, legal sovereignty is that which has the legal power to issue final command. It may vest in one person or a body of persons. It is definitely organized, precise, and recognized by law. It is the final authority of the state. Under this, the law of the state attribute final legal force. Therefore, power which has the legal authority to issue and enforce this law is called legal sovereignty. Next, political sovereignty. Well, political sovereignty is the sum total of influence in a state which lie behind the law. According to Dicey, that body is political sovereign, the will of the which is ultimately obeyed by the citizens of the state. For example, in India and in England, the sovereign is the electorate which in the long run can always enforce its will. In simple words, political sovereignty rests in the electorate, in the public opinion, and in all other influences in the state which mold and shape the public opinion. Next, we have popular sovereignty. Now, the doctrine of popular sovereignty implies that the supreme power in the state rests with the people. That means people are powerful. Therefore, it is they who decide as to how the administrative machinery of the country has to be worked. This theory was put forward by the anti-monarchical writers of the 16th and 17th century as a counterblast to the despotic power claimed by the monarchies at that time. For example, Rousseau also advocated the sovereignty of people. In fact, he stressed upon to show that sovereignty rests with the general will, which is the will of common to all the people. In his view, the people were the repository of all the power in the state and the government was merely a servant who carried out the will of the state. According to Dr. Garner, sovereignty of the people, therefore, can mean nothing more than the power of the majority of the electorate in a country where a system of approximate universal suffrage prevails, acting through legal established channel to express their will and make it prevailed. Next, we have national sovereignty. The idea of national sovereignty was given by leaders of the French Revolution. It was stated in the Declaration of the Rights of the Man that all sovereignty reside essentially in the nation. Therefore, the idea of a national sovereignty is considered in France to be the one of the fundamental principle of public law and of the organization of the public power. And last we have Austin theory of sovereignty. Here, Austin theory of sovereignty is also known as monastic theory. Now, following are the major features of the Austin theory of sovereignty. Point number 1. In every independent society, there is a sovereign power, and this sovereign is a determinate person or body of person. Second, the power of sovereign is legally unlimited. There is no law to limit the power of the sovereign. Point number 3. The sovereign receives habitual obedience from the bulk of its people, obedience must be a matter of habit and not merely occasional. Point number 4. The power of the sovereign is indivisible. The sovereign power is absolute and incapable of limitations. Point number 5. Laws are the command of the supreme, and without the superior, there can be no law. In simple words, Austin affirmed the existence of the supreme power, which is determinate, absolute, inalienable, indivisible, all comprehensive, and permanent. So I hope you have understood the sovereignty, its meaning, definition, characteristics, aspects, and the types of sovereignty. See you soon in next tutorial. Till then, take care.